1010 XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in on a Tuesday. Our Tuesday is brought to you by my friends at the Nimnick family of dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet, Caston, Nimnick Buick, GMC, and Phillips Highway. The place I've been buying my cars forever. You should too. You know the name. The name is Nimnick. Nobody but Nimnick treats you the way they do. Head to Nimnick today. Frangie, Carline, La Selva with you. Our pick. I'm going to go through the picks after they're over. Our picks contest.
Yeah, it's over.
And so where we stand
Great
now.
Great week for JJ La Selva.
JJ La Selva.
He almost pulled off an 8-0.
JJ La Selva out of Northwest Ocala, down there in Marion County, was 7-1 with a 9-point week.
Yeah.
Because he got a money ball and a game picker up.
And if it wasn't for a Georgia Tech walk-off field goal, he's 8-0.
How about that? 7-1 for La Selva.
We had a ton of come down to the last
was a great
games.
It's amazing how many games of our 8 came down to the last something.
It really was.
So Hayes was 4-4 with 4 points. I was 3-5 with 4 points because I had the money ball. So our records, by the way, JJ way atop the leader poll. He's 17-7 with 20 total points. I'm 13-11 with 16 total points. You're 12-12 with 15 total points. So 20-16-15. So
And the Bucks game last night was another one.
Yeah, and by the way, that game proved you don't win backpedaling on defense. You have to put them away, or the other guy wins. That's what happens. It's the same same as the Jaguar game. You get the ball back, you go the length of the field, and you score. I was telling Griffin
after
earlier,
not driving the entire game, really. It's insane.
But I was convinced. I didn't think it would take a fourth down scramble, but I was convinced Tampa Bay was going to come back and win. Did you feel that way or no? I was very confident.
I did, although it was a week of flukes, and the Jaguars were certainly high among the fluke. Probably the biggest one was Indianapolis, Denver, but it kind of felt I actually wasn't sure, just because how often do you see a team in basically the final 20 minutes of a game, and this was Tampa Bay, allow a blocked punt, miss a 38-yard field goal, and give up a 53-yard punt return?
Right.
Like, I've never seen a special teams meltdown like Tampa Bay had in the final minutes of that game, the final quarter of that game. And so it kind of felt like, boy, they're just going to allow Houston to just steal this, through just miserable special teams play. But Baker Mayfield, I mean, he's one of the most fun players to watch in the NFL.
Did you see the
moxie he plays with is just incredible.
Did you see the stat that he has more fourth quarter and overtime touchdown passes than anybody in the last 5 years?
Oh, wow.
More than anybody.
5 years? That's surprising, because he didn't even play
maybe it was 3 years, whatever.
I was going to say, since he got to Tampa.
Yeah, since the last handful of years, more fourth quarter touchdowns and passes than any.
That's a Mahomes stat.
Yeah, that's a great stat.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Mahomes doesn't get that many of those anymore because they became so good defensively.
And they're ahead.
That he doesn't have to lead them back a lot. But it's still a great stat, and it speaks to Baker Mayfield. What a resurrection of a career.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from like Cleveland to Carolina to the Rams.
Yeah,
it looked like he was going to be lost in the wilderness, and then gets to Tampa Bay, and
it's been great.
It's been unbelievable.
My favorite play was when he seemingly got hurt.
Yes.
On that big scramble, and then he saw that a player was talking crap to him, so he immediately jumped up.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
The injury was suddenly just healed. It was amazing.
It was C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He was talking to everybody.
Was.
And the play where Anderson thinks he has sacked him.
Yes.
But he actually got a yard and a half and got the first down. And Anderson's like pointing up to the sky. And Baker's like, it's a first down. He's just a fun player, and
good win for Tampa Bay.
Absolutely, thank you, Tampa.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit. I want to first segment. I want to talk about the Texans. What are they? They're coming to town this week. What do we expect from them? What are they? We'll certainly talk about the Houston Texans coming up in a bit. I got a thought about Florida, Miami. Also about Florida State quietly just slipping up the polls. They're all the way to 7. I got a thought too about that. I want to mention something today that I almost never talk about, and I've thought about this over the weekend. I don't talk much high school football. It's a good day to do it because we have our first Duval County Scholar Athlete of the week coming in today. But have you followed this Range team at all? Are you following this story at all?
I have not.
JJ, have you followed? You probably don't follow high schools locally. I don't know if you do.
No.
Let me give you Range's 3 games this year. They beat Sandalwood. Now, Sandalwood, I don't know if Sandalwood's any good this year, but Sandalwood traditionally has had a pretty good team. They beat them 77-0. Okay? Hang on. They played Trinity The second game, Trinity Christian. Hazley beat them 48-14. Who beats Trinity 48-14? I mean, whoever beats Trinity 48-14, okay? All right. And last week they played Lake Mary. Lake Mary finished second in 7A last year and has got a quarterback committed to Notre Dame. They beat them 51-3. So they have beaten Sandalwood, Trinity, and Lake Mary 77-0, 48-14, and 51-3. How good must this Rain? And again, I don't do much with high school. How good must this Rains team be? I mean, think about that for a second. How good must they be to do that? Again, I don't mean.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's incredible.
Who beats Trinity 48-14?
I think they're not.
Are they down?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to say that, but but I don't think that they're as strong as they've been.
And 51-3 over the Lake Mary team that finished the runner-up in the 7A.
Oh, I mean, Rains has been fantastic.
I just didn't realize.
I mean, that's an awesome start.
Yeah,
but it doesn't surprise me that Rains is having an outstanding.
I don't follow it close enough, I suppose. It's just for me, it was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing for me that they're winning by that much of a stuff. I mean, it's really, truly amazing stuff. So there you go. All right, you got some news to report.
Wow, the Jaguars just released safety Darnell Savage.
How about that?
Yeah.
So a guy that's played some football for him of late.
Yeah, and was a pretty B-level free agent, not crazy money, but pretty good money to come here last year. And we talked about what would the role be and would he be content? And who knows? It seemed like he was being a good soldier at least early on, but maybe something changed. But Darnell Savage just cut. I'm surprised they couldn't get anything for him.
Yeah.
But boy, that's interesting.
I can tell you that toward the end of camp, he was the guy that some folks weren't sure would be on the team. But once he was on the team, I didn't expect this. So Darnell Savage cut today by the Jaguars. It'll be interesting. Remember now, Caleb Renshaw gone for the year, the rookie who they thought would factor in that safety spot. So it'll be interesting. So we'll certainly track that story. So yeah, that's big. There's some big Jaguars news. Darnell Savage gone from the Jaguars, cut to former Green Bay. He had a weird career here. It was a guy that was a safety, but they played him at nickel. It never fit, did it? He never really fit here. And he's a guy that played a little bit in week one for sure, because they went with that multiple safety look, that 3 safety look. So anyway, Darnell Savage released today by the Jaguars. We'll see what details come out about that and if there's a corresponding move of any kind. So we'll certainly talk about that today on the program. We will talk some Jaguars. I want to talk Jags and Texans and what to expect from the Houston Texans. That comes up on the program today. A thought or two about the Gators in Miami. The SEC report is with Jeff Dantzler. That comes up at 5:15. Oh, boy. Jeff's got a thought or two about that fantastic Tennessee-Georgia game. He's on that Bulldog Radio Network. He'll have a thought or two about that, so we'll get to that coming up a bit as well. By the way, I know we probably touched on it yesterday. I don't know if it was official. Joe Burrow down for 3 months with a turf toe. I know we said he'd be out for. Did we know 3 months yesterday?
I mean, it changes the AFC race.
Yeah, I mean, we did. I guess we did.
Because they're out.
Yeah,
I mean, you would think.
Yeah.
They are 2-0.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
You would think they're going to be out.
That's like 12 games.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think they can recover from that.
You wouldn't think. So we got a lot of things to talk about today on the program. It's the bottom of the hour, 4:40 today or 4:30 today. Caleb White is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. He's from Mandarin High School. That comes up later on. But when we come back, let's talk Jags and Texans. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Get more Gators
and more Prosser and Hickett Unfiltered.
Football insight, analysis, and critique from your breakfast buddies on the Swamp Sessions podcast
from Voodoo Brewing Company.
Right after every game.
Streamed live on the 1010XL social channels.
Driven by Atlantic Infinity.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
Frank Frangie here from my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
One man, one hammer. One place to hear it drop. Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit Bowdeneye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. Now, who are we? Roland Reach Plumbing! Now that's what a winner sounds like.
Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La Playa awaits.
Frank Frangie telling you about Awaken 180. You know, my daughter has done so well. I'm so proud of Amber. Can you believe she's lost 50 pounds in 2 months? And she's really proud of that. You can as well. Call 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We sure appreciate our friends at the Nimnick Family Dealerships. Man, they treat you right. Nobody but Nimnick. That phrase is there for a reason. They've done it since 1941. They've been selling me cars since 1982. Those are both a long time ago. And they still treat you the same way. You deal with people at Nimnick, they're going to treat you right. They're nice folks. Two beautiful campuses, man. Two beautiful dealerships. And they're going to keep right on doing it. My friend Billy Nimnick runs that thing. He and his brother Lee, they do such a good job. If you want to buy a car from someone you've always been able to trust in this city, you want to buy it from Nimnick. All right, let's get to, I got a thought about the Texans. But let's start with the Darnell Savage news because that's a little bit of a surprise. Darnell Savage cut by the Jaguars. I will tell you, Eric Murray and Andrew Wingard have been a good pair of starters. I think they're comfortable there. This would tell me that Antonio Johnson now has become the third safety, and they play those three safeties together a lot. So I don't know if there's a corresponding move. I don't know that I see a lot of other safeties in the mix here. So I think this is a real opportunity now for Antonio Johnson.
Yeah, that's who I would imagine is the biggest beneficiary of this. And you know, and again, it isn't. We've been talking about Savage's status for a while because it just felt like he really wasn't in the plan. They pivoted to Wingard pretty quick in training camp. In fact, he might have been the day one starter out there and never really lost it. And again, Ransaw got hurt early on, which, you know, maybe prolonged, you know, them keeping Savage just to see what they had. But like I said, the only thing that kind of surprises me is that they just weren't able to get anything for Savage. But you know, again, it speaks to if you can't get something for him, then obviously he's not maybe the player that Trent Baalke believed he was when he gave him a fairly handsome contract. So you know, it's you hope he can stay healthy at that spot. But yeah, I'd like to see Antonio Johnson in a little bit more of a prominent role. And
he's certainly, when the light's on and when his instincts are right and he's going the right direction, Antonio Johnson's a good player. I mean, he's a talented guy. So we'll see if that happens for him. So anyway, Darnell Savage cut moments ago, or at least announced. The cut was announced moments ago by the Jaguars.
The Jaguars signed him to a 3-year, $21.75 million contract, which included a $5 million signing bonus and $12.5 million in guaranteed money. So Darnell Savage did quite well for basically a year and a couple of games as a Jaguar. But yeah, it makes sense if he's not in the plan. And again, we know how these guys are. I'm sure Darnell Savage believes he should be starting somewhere. So it's probably hard to, keep that dynamic in the locker room, even if he was being a good pro about it. So anyway, we'll see kind of what interest he picks up, on the street now. But yeah, just another example of, what Trent Baalke brought here, James Gladstone is shipping out.
Yeah, that's happened more than once, no question about it. All right, let's get to last night's game and how it affects this week's game. Question 1, the Texans are 0-2. Do they come in desperate, loaded for bear, playing with an incredible sense of urgency to avoid that 0-3 start? That's what happens sometimes when a team's 0-2. You're like, oh boy, you're now going to get their best punch. Or is there more of a sign that there's real problems in Houston, and it doesn't matter what kind of an edge they have, they're not the team they've been? Is it one of those two? Is it one of those two in your mind?
I think they're a desperate team, and I do think they're a tough team. I was impressed with the intensity that they had last night against Tampa. I thought they were out hitting might be too strong because I thought Tampa was physical as well. But Houston has some really good defensive talent, and Nico Collins is an outstanding receiver, made one of the best toe tap touchdown catches that you'll see early in that game, but then he disappears. So yeah, Houston's desperate. I mean, you can't start 0-3 and probably have a realistic chance of getting back in this thing, barring a complete collapse with the Colts and Jaguars. So yeah, I do think that there's an incredible amount of pressure on DeMeco Ryans to right the ship. Not that his job's in danger. He's gotten to the playoffs and won a game his first 2 years in Houston, won the division. But from a keeping this season on the right tracks, if you come to Jacksonville and you get a win, all right, you're 1-2, but you're 1-0 in the division, and you've righted the ship. And of the first 3, you've gotten the one that you had to have. But if you lose it and go to 0-3, the percentages are really starting to work against you. And Houston does have a first-place schedule, so their schedule does not lighten up. So, yeah, and I think that you're looking at a team that is very talented defensively, but woefully inept offensively. Houston averaging just 14 points a game. They're last in the NFL through 2 weeks. And, yeah, they've played the Rams and they've played the Bucs. And, those are I'd say the Rams right now look like they're elite. We'll see if that continues. But, yeah, I think it's a low-scoring game. And the first one I definitely think the first 1-20 wins the game, but it may be a game where neither team gets there, and it's a 17-16 kind of game.
What stuck out to me was I think the Texans are tough. They're struggling offensively too. But, boy, I thought Tampa was more physical than them in some moments, particularly on the defensive front. Now, Vita Vea, no one's blocking him. But it really looked – and I know Chubb got loose for the one touchdown run at the end, the 20-yarder, whatever it was. But boy, before that, they couldn't move him at all. And and there's times that Stroud had no time at all. Part of that was he didn't read blitzes properly. One time that was Dario Gumbawale, the one-time Jaguar, went the wrong way and didn't pick up the blitzer.
And one time he got absolutely run over.
Yes, he did. But it just looked like to me they weren't physical. They were tough, to your point, but in the interior at least. Obviously Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson are very good ends and fast and physical and whatnot, but I thought in the interior, I don't know, it looked like Tampa Bay was by far the more physical team, which bodes well because if there's one thing that it looks like we're clearly headed for, the Jags look physical. If there's one thing that I think is pretty clear, the Jags look like they're going to be a physical football team. So, yeah, if it wasn't for the history that scars you a little bit, because the Texans have come in here, particularly with Stroud, and played well regularly. If it wasn't for that scarring, watching that game last night, I feel like the Jaguars are a good bit better. I other than Nico Collins, I don't think there's a lot of weapons. I got a hunch the Jags are going to they're going to match up well. Let's put it that way.
I think the Jaguars are definitely, so far through 2 games, the more balanced team. The Jaguars are leading the NFL in rushing, both in yards per game at 169.5, but also in yards per carry at a ridiculous 5.75. So that bodes well because you look at what Tampa Bay was able to do last night against Houston. Again, in the Texans home opener, the crowd was very lively. It's a primetime game, and Tampa Bay runs for 169 yards, averaging 5.6 a carry. And there's going to be a lot of correlations between what Tampa Bay is doing and what the Jaguars are doing, and just as there were with the Rams and Sean McVay. Now, Houston held McVay to 14 in a 14-9 loss. But I think this game really benefits Liam Cohen and his staff because of who Houston has played in the first 2 games. For Liam Cohen to be able to see what Sean McVay, how he attacked them, what worked and what didn't, really applies to what Liam runs here. And then to see Tampa Bay and their rushing attack, and Liam is obviously very familiar with their personnel, that I think helps him get an idea of what will work with the talent he has in Jacksonville and what might not. But if you're D'Amico Ryans, the number one thing on your list is fixing the run defense, because if the Jaguars run for the 169 yards that Tampa did last night, the Jaguars will win on Sunday and Houston will be 0-3.
And one thing that seems clear about the Jaguars is they are going to try and run the football. That doesn't mean they won't check out of it some. That doesn't mean there won't be some series. When they got the ball on the 7-yard line, they threw it 3 times. That surprised me. But for the most part, they're a team that they're built to run, and they're a team that believes you have to run, and I think you'll see some of that. So we'll see. So that's what stood out to me. The other thing, I don't know that I feel like he's got very good weapons. Something's different with C.J. Stroud. Obviously, he had the very good rookie year. Obviously, something happened last year where he wasn't as good.
People watched him.
Yeah. Well, that's right. And the league punches back. Great point. The league always punches back, but it's still punching back. He does not look like the good player he once was. And I know they took the lead and almost won, and they lost because of.
But he had very little to do with that.
Yeah,
that was the special teams.
It really was. The offense had very little to do with it. I mean, they almost. I mean, the one series inside the 2-yard line, I think they had first and goal at the 7. They threw the little slant to Collins to the 2. Second and goal from the 2. They were helpless. They handed the ball off to Chubb, and Vita Vea blew that up. Then they tried to throw the pass in the right corner. It might have been there, but it would have taken a good pass. And then on 4th down, it was a terrible play. The throw to the other side of the field. They looked a little bit helpless. Now, again, you can look helpless one game in the NFL and great the next, but that surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And again, Trayvon Walker is coming off an outstanding game in Cincinnati. Josh Hines-Allen is off to a really good start this year. You know, that sack record is something that's really, really a big motivator for him. He's 2.5 away. And so the way that Houston's line looks, and not that this is a surprise because we thought it would be a weakness, but it doesn't look good at all. They did spring Chubb for the 25-yard touchdown run, and that was impressive. That was a nice hole for him to run through because I think he's pretty much decrepit at this point. But in pass protection, yeah, C.J. Stroud doesn't get a much of a comfort level. I mean, he is constantly harassed, and yeah, I think it's been difficult for him. I still think he's a pretty good player. I don't think he's elite, but I think he's a pretty good player. But yeah, if you don't have any time, it's going to be hard to be productive.
Really big game for the Texans this week to not go to 0-3. We'll see what happens. I want to take a break. When we come back, our first Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Year. Or correction, week. Our first Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
This is Hayes Carline for Atlantic Infinity. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise, free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. And you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor, climate-controlled showroom. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through September 30th. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Attention men and women, if you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. HairForMe.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Chip Davis, director of the Flounder Pounder Fishing Tournament. We are fast approaching our 16th annual tournament benefiting the Jacksonville School for Autism. With the help of our amazing community, we raised over $1.4 million the last 15 years. This year's tournament will be held at Palm Valley Outdoors on the Intercoastal Waterway. Captain's meeting is Thursday night, October 9th, and the tournament is Saturday, October 11th. I'm inviting you and your family to come out and enjoy our tournament festivities, raise some money, and support autism awareness. Special thanks to U.S. Army Recruitment Jacks for their support. Flounder Pounder for Autism 2025. See you there.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big...
Whoa! See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
All right, we do welcome you back to the program. And for the first time this year, we have our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. And Caleb White is going to kick it off for us. He's from Mandarin High School. Caleb, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's an honor being on the show. And I just thank you guys for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here. Let's get to the important stuff first. We'll get to the unimportant stuff later. Tough day in fantasy football. What happened?
Man, I think I drafted wrong. I drafted Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, both out. And it's not looking good so far.
All right,
Long season.
Did you help? You said you were going to help out.
Is Daniel Jones available? And he said he is, and he's picked up Penix.
Right.
So we're going to figure this out.
Okay.
And we're going to get back on track. But how's it going on the gridiron for you guys at Mandarin?
Oh, it's going great. After that big win against Bradford, we're just ready to take IMG's head off right off the bat and just dominate anyone else in our path and make it a states.
You obviously have a really good team. I mean, Mandarin's 4-0 for people who haven't followed it. 3 blowout wins and then a 14-7 win against a very good Bradford team. Tell me strengths of the team. Tell me, why is this team special, Caleb?
This team is special because everyone is committed in doing their job, right? It's not about, me, I want this. No, what can I do in order for us to win? And I think it's a great mindset that we have going forward.
Caleb, you said that Bradford game might have been one of your favorites that you've had in your career. Tell us why. What were you able to do in that game?
Oh, yes. I just loved it. I just love dominating, just offensive linemen. And then when I do play offense, I just love blocking, making sure Knox is not, tackled, and making sure our running backs just able to get yards. So it was just it was fun.
How much offense do you play? I mean, tell me what's like a play load for you?
Ooh.
Mostly defense, right?
It's both sides. As soon as I'm done with offense, go back to defense. Sometimes Coach Kaysen puts me in, or he's subs me out, but I'm pretty much in the whole game.
Do you play special teams too, or do you at least get a break on special teams?
I get a break on special teams. I can sit down for a little bit and chill,
good.
But other than that, no, it's just always out there.
Go ahead.
Here you go.
What are some of the things that you enjoy outside the football field?
Outside the football field, I really like just spending time with family. Right, you're not gonna get those moments always, and then just spending time with my friends. We go to sometimes the mall, amusement parks, just seeing what Jacksonville has to offer.
Caleb, obviously you're a really good student. Talk a little bit about that. Why are academics important to you, and what do you want to study as you kind of move forward here?
So I have a 4.4 GPA. Freshman year, I started off right, just making sure I get A's. And basically, if you start academics off right, you're going to have more opportunities going forward. And that's in the position I am right now. But I would like to become an aerospace engineer or a chemical engineer. But I'm just flexible for anything. I just want to be successful at what I do and have an impact.
Caleb, do you know where you're looking in terms of colleges at this point?
Right now, my number one is Yale. I'm supposed to go up there for a visit soon on our bye week, and we're supposed to see, I think, Stonehenge. It's one of them too, but yeah, I can't wait.
That's fantastic.
That really is, and it's a great school. Why did you pick Yale? Why is Yale high on the list, or the highest on the list?
Oh, sorry. Yale is the Ivy League. I'm interested in the Ivy Leagues. Typically, they have the better education, and it's just Yale. I can just more jobs are opened up because I went to Yale, and not a lot of people have that opportunity.
That's a great answer because it's Yale. That's why,
without a doubt. Would you play at Yale?
Oh yes, sir. Okay. I want to play college ball.
Nice, very cool.
All right, final thing. You've been able, and we ask a lot of our student athletes this, you've been able to manage athletics and academics and been really good at both. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to find a way to balance both the way you have?
Number one, do not procrastinate, all right? Sometimes, you're just chilling and you have all these assignments to do, but you just got to practice. You have to dig deep and just finish it, right? So you don't have to worry about it later, and it's just time management, all right? Once you are able to balance both, the sky's the limit.
Well, you've proven that. Great GPA, terrific football player, and probably on your way to Yale. But there's more important things right now to take care of, beating IMG this week, right?
Yes, that is the main focus right now. All of our guys are locked in, just ready to beat each other up at practice, and then Friday just whoop some butt.
All right.
That's awesome.
Caleb White from Mandarin. Good luck, Caleb. Thanks for stopping by. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Caleb White, the Duval County Scholar, Athlete of the Week from Mandarin High School. What a sharp guy he is, and what a good football team they've got. Man,
yeah, and IMG has a problem Friday night.
Yeah, they do.
That's what I think.
You better believe they do. So it's great to meet Caleb White. It's great to see them come in here today, and what a terrific football player and terrific student, no question. The best answer was, why Yale? Dude, it's Yale.
Yeah, silly question.
That was a great answer, wasn't it? It's Yale.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
why.
and again, that Yale, any Ivy League school, it just opens up any path you want to take.
Right.
And look, I mean, if he wants to play there, I mean, what a get for Yale, to bring a player of that caliber and certainly that quality student athlete. You got to think that's one Yale will be all over.
No question about it. Let's take a break. When we come back, we've got headlines from Hayes. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. I've been hearing the buzz about topdressing.com, and I made the decision, well, I'm in. They say it'll transform my St. Augustine grass at home into golf course perfection. Thick, even, lush, low-cut grass. As a golf fanatic, I had to give it a try. The topdressing.com team is white glove service all the way. Professional and attentive. My yard's up soon, and they say it'll be the best on the block. Yours can too. So call today and top dress your lawn like the pros with topdressing.com.
This year's playoff road rides through the 904. Last season's AFC South champs take their first shot at Trevor and the playoff-hungry team in teal. It's back at the bank for a big one against a division rival. Jaguars, Texans, Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010 XL.
Frank Frangie here. When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter, the area's most trusted service company. They're licensed, insured, and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations and full air conditioning service, they do it all. And with Duck Duck, it's done right. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. If the Jags trust Duck Duck Rooter, so can you.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Get ready for the football weekend by hanging with Lauren Taylor and Tommy Mack as Helmets and Heels is live from Big Dog Sports Restaurant in Orange Park this Friday from 2 to 4. Come see why everyone says Big Dogs has the best wings in town.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Frank Frangie here, telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. She's lost 60 pounds. Can you believe that? And she just took a road trip. The reason is it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
When the lights are on, you can expect Travis Etienne to always perform. In the third quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find the teal and black running back for an 11-yard touchdown, giving Jacksonville a 24-17 lead with 4:08 left in the frame. The Etienne score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkston. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's OKEfarm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
I can tell you Holt Harrell is not very happy with the Florida Gator football program.
No, he shouldn't be.
No, he is not very happy at all. I'm having to try to cheer him up, which is
he's an upbeat guy.
Usually he cheers me up.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see. But if you get hurt, hopefully you won't. But if you do, or any loved one or friend, send them to Harrell and Harrell. They'll take great care of you. 251-1111, Harrell and Harrell. We would certainly appreciate their friendship. Frank, we're going to start with the Jaguars. A surprising roster move just announced about 40 minutes ago. The Jaguars have cut safety Darnell Savage. Savage was signed to a 3-year, $21.75 million deal last year. Last just 19 games as new GM James Gladstone continues to push out players from the Trent Baalke era that no longer have the value here.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is that this regime wants guys that fit, and if he doesn't fit, they're not worried about how much you paid him or how much they still owe them. They worry about guys that fit. So I did not see this one coming. Before the season, it would not have surprised me if Darnell Savage's roster spot, Hayes, was in some peril. But once he made the team, and once Caleb Renshaw went on IR, who I thought the guy that would compete to be one of the safeties or certainly in the safety rotation, I thought Savage was safe, so I was a little surprised.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see. Antonio Johnson certainly could be somebody that benefits. It's going to be exciting to see what becomes of that position. And obviously, you have to be pleased with how Murray and Wingard are playing. Let's get it to around the NFL. We had a doubleheader on Monday Night Football last night. Tampa Bay sends Houston to an 0-2 start with a thrilling last-second win. Say more about Tampa Bay, or does it say more about Houston?
Yeah, Tampa Bay. I don't think Houston's a bad football team. I think they weren't physical in the interior, and the game was clunky. It was all about defense for the longest time. But I think Tampa Bay's pretty good. You and I talked about that. I think Tampa Bay's a team that is going to go and will be in the playoffs and might make a little bit of a run. And listen, when you win game, you have to make plays at the end of games. How many times do we have to say the Jags didn't do it and they lost the game? The Chiefs driving on the Eagles didn't do it and they lost the game. You have to make plays at the end of the game. Someone's going to make them and someone's not. If you think about it, the Texans had the Bucs 4th and 10 and they let Baker Mayfield scramble for the first down. He made the play. They did not. They won the game. So I think Baker Mayfield's a pretty good player. I think the Bucs are pretty good.
Absolutely. It was a great win for Tampa Bay. They did get some bad news today. Bucs lose defensive end Kalijah Kancey to a torn pec. He is expected to miss the rest of the season. The former first-rounder has 11.5 sacks in his first 2 years in Tampa combined.
We have recency bias. I'm the guiltiest of the guilty with stuff like that, Hayes, and I admit to it. But boy, it seems like there's a lot of guys getting hurt early this year, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it happens every year, or certainly some years. But goodness, it seems like a lot this year.
In the nightcap, Justin Herbert led the Chargers to a relatively easy win over the Raiders. Are you impressed with Justin Herbert so far?
I am. I'm impressed with Justin Herbert, and I'm impressed with the Chargers. We knew that, listen, it's a coach that won a national title in college, a coach that been to a Super Bowl in the pros. He inherited a team or chose a team with a really good quarterback who's starting to emerge now. Justin Herbert is starting to emerge as one of the good quarterbacks. No, I think that I told you yesterday, I think the Chargers are going to be around for a while this year. I do.
The Chargers also in a victory got some disappointing injury news. They lose star pass rusher Khalil Mack to an elbow injury that was pretty gruesome. Mack was able to return to the sideline with a sling, but you have to think that Khalil Mack is going to be out for a significant amount of time.
And that's a big one. I mean, he's one of the really good, that outside, not the pass rusher that's not the big guy pass rusher, that's not the Julius Peppers 6'6", 290, the 6'3", 240-pound outside linebacker pass rusher type guy. He's one of the best in our generation. He's a really good player, and that'll hurt not having him.
The Jets are among the teams battling quarterback injuries. Justin Fields is in concussion protocol. Boy, that's the last thing they need. Tyrod Taylor would be the backup if and would be the starter if Fields is not able to clear protocol.
Yeah, they're not very good. The Jets, you hope you get Fields back. Fields is okay, but the Jets aren't very good, so I'm not sure it's going to matter who plays quarterback.
Today's controversy in the NFL revolves around Tom Brady, the minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, who was shown last night in the Raiders coaching booth, which upset many around the league considering Brady's access to other clubs as a member of Fox's top broadcasting team.
Yeah, that's the storyline. The storyline is on Fox's team, you get to meet with the coaches and they tell you inside stuff about their football team every Friday. Or whenever the meetings are, usually on Fridays. Well, now you're armed with that information when you go back and meet with your coach of the team you own. It's a very awkward paradigm. My guess is, by the way, what's going to happen is Tom Brady is going to get less information in those Friday production meetings than anybody else that's doing the job. Now, Fox has to decide whether that's a deterrent to having him, but he's not going to get a lot of transparency.
No, I don't think anybody's going to tell him anything. Why would you? But it certainly is interesting to see him as involved as he is with the Raiders. And even in the broadcast, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman talked about how Chip Kelly told them he speaks to Brady 2 or 3 times a week on a variety of things with, the offense, the Raiders offense. He's the Raiders OC. So yeah, very interesting, and we'll see what comes of it. I sort of agree with you. I think Fox does nothing. You still have Tom Brady, and if he's not going to get a lot of information, fine. But yeah, I mean, I think clubs will meet with Brady, but they're not going to give him anything that could remotely be advantageous to the Raiders.
Particularly, Hayes, when it's AFC teams, AFC West teams, they're darn sure not going to tell him anything.
Let's get to college football. The SEC is hiring an associate commissioner for football. Do you need me to proof the resume before you send it to Sankey?
Well, when I was about to take the job, and then they said they wanted me to interview for it. I said, interview?
Yeah.
Interview?
You pulled a Bowden.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
Exactly what I did. I told us that's just we were coming with it. I don't know how you don't hire me for that job. But again, sometimes the right guy doesn't get hired.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you. Again, you can't expect everyone to do the right thing every time.
I don't know that. I mean, it seems like you're overqualified considering it's associate commissioner.
Well said. Yeah. And I won't lie. The fear they have of me turning it down is real. What do they do in that job?
I don't know. I guess you hire a...
I understand why they brought in Mike Tranghese to make basketball better years ago, because basketball wasn't very good and he had a major impact. But football is pretty good. Is it a scheduling guy?
That's what I'm curious.
Maybe they're like grooming him to be Sankey's replacement.
That's what I would think as well.
Yeah.
And maybe they just kind of want a lieutenant in there. But yeah, very interesting. We'll see who the hire ends up being. Frank, you certainly created a lot of buzz last week talking about John Gruden's potential interest in the Florida opening, should it come open.
Yeah.
But Gruden's camp must be kind of telling everybody who will listen that he wants back in, because the odds makers have released their betting odds for the next coach at UCLA and at Virginia Tech. And John Gruden is the leading candidate for both jobs. So I don't know if the plan is for him to be a bi-coastal coach and run 2 programs at the same time. But everybody is on the John Gruden to UCLA and the John Gruden to Virginia Tech camp.
Well, and I'll say this. I do think he'll have a conversation with the Florida folks. I said it before, and I believe it again. I'll believe it. I'll believe he's going to have conversation with the Florida folks if indeed the job comes open. But you can make the argument why he's not the best choice. You can go both ways. But UCLA can't make that argument.
No, or Virginia Tech.
UCLA and Virginia Tech, if they could hire John Gruden, they hire John
cartwheels
Gruden.
to hire John Gruden.
Yeah, I bet I wouldn't. I don't know if he takes those jobs. Belichick took the only job that would take him, and it's been a disaster. Not just because of him, because it was a program that wasn't in good shape to start with. So
You'd have to be crazy to take the UCLA job at this point.
That thing's really broken.
And apparently they're in like crazy debt as well.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for UCLA.
That one's really broken.
The Virginia Tech job, though, if I was John Gruden, I think that's close. Yeah. It may not be the top job that I think he'd get considered for, but I do think it's close. Because I don't think again, we'll see what Florida does with its search when they, fire Napier, but I'd be surprised if that level of a job is what he gets. But look, we'll see. We've been surprised before.
Yeah, it will be. I think he'll be in play for some jobs. We'll see.
Let's get it to golf. The Masters has announced a partnership with Amazon Prime. The streaming service will broadcast Thursday and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Before ESPN takes over. CBS will still have the weekend coverage, but great news for golf fans. We've always had to wait until late in the afternoon to watch the first and second round of the Masters. Now on Prime, we'll be able to see at least action starting at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, why on earth can't we get more? I mean, who doesn't want more golf from the Masters? It's a shame.
Augusta National.
Yeah, well, correct. But it's a shame they don't.
Yeah.
It's a shame they don't.
I agree. So this was a good step, and I'm sure Prime is paying... Wow, I can only imagine what the cost is for that.
For 4 hours of programming.
Yeah,
too.
but it will be it will pay dividends for them, I would imagine. Let's get to Major League Baseball. The Phillies clinched the NL East with a win over the Dodgers last night. They become the first team to clinch a division. Philadelphia has a 90-61 record and leads the NL East by 12.5 games.
Yeah, they're really good. They might be the team. What do you think, JJ? Is that the team to beat in the National League?
I've been saying that for pretty much the whole season. I love the Phillies. The Mets and what they've done the last couple of weeks of just losing every single game is absolutely hilarious. Now they're on the cusp of maybe even missing the wild card.
Amazing. It really is.
We haven't updated the Braves in a while, so I figured we would.
Yes.
The Braves are 67-83 with a minus 38 run differential.
The Atlanta Braves. These are you know what these are? These are the late 80 Braves. These are the 60s and 70s Braves. It's amazing that the Braves of all teams became hapless. I never saw that coming.
It's stunning. JJ, do you have anything to add? In terms of how it's been for you?
I think Snickers definitely, he's like Billy Napier right now. There's no way he comes back next year. At least Matt Olson's starting to hit right now. Ronald Acuna's back healthy. So that gives you a little bit of hope for next year. But, man, just an incredibly disappointing season that I did not see coming at. I saw it coming once April, like a couple weeks into the year, but certainly not before the season started. I thought they'd win 90 games easily.
It's amazing. 16 games under 500, the Atlanta Braves, as we have only about 12 games left in the season or so. Let's get into pop culture. Sad news today in Hollywood. Icon Robert Redford died today at the age of 89. The prolific actor and director is probably known best to sports fans for The Natural in 1984, but he became a star with 1969's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Redford was nominated for an Oscar for his acting in The Sting and won an Academy Award for his directorial debut, Ordinary People, in 1980.
Yeah, I tell you, that one got me a little bit today. We lost Roy Hobbs. And like you, I'm old enough that I can remember being a kid at the drive-in with my parents watching Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and still loving when they played Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. I remember that. I remember The Sting. I remember Indecent Proposal. I remember, there's a lot of movies that I really liked. And The Natural, that made me sad today. That's Robert Redford. We lost Robert Redford today. That's a bad deal.
That is a bad deal, no doubt about it. We will get you out on our musical note of the day because this week, back in 1983, Huey Lewis and the News releases Sports. Their third studio album, Sports, eventually reached #1 on the Billboard chart in June of 1984. The album had incredible staying power, showing up on the charts for 160 weeks as it sold over 7 million copies. This is the heart of rock and roll.
I almost sent you this yesterday, and I said, I think we've probably done Huey. He's probably tired of me sending him stuff. I was hoping this would make it, by the way. And this song is a song of one of my great stories, one of my favorite all-time stories that I didn't witness. Hour 2 is next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
From the huddle to the perfect spiral.
We invite you into the lab so that you can truly learn the quarterback position.
The quarterback whisperer. He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Wrapped up by George Moore Chevrolet and Tyson Sound and Security on 1010XL.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
The Friday night lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, johnautomotivejacks.com.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family-owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
Helmets and Heels is returning to Vegas. If you're heading out for the big game, join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for a Halloween weekend football getaway, featuring Circa room discounts and a huddle up for everyone in the teal and black. Meet Helmets and Heels Friday night, October 31st, then hit the Circa Stadium Swim with temperature-controlled pools and a massive betting screen. For Circa room discounts and more information, visit the 1010XL webpage or circalasvegas.com/huddleup-up.
If you want to sell your home, or you're worried about selling your home, or you've had trouble selling your home, let me give you the hotline to the help you need. That's the hotline to Chad and Sandy. 904-414-6200, chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to get the right price, and you need the right marketing, the proven systems. Chad and Sandy hit every base for you. Need to sell now? Instant offers coming. Fast, easy, stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy bring your home to market with unmatched exposure, whether you're buying or selling. Fast or max cash, Chad and Sandy have the proven plan guaranteed. And how about this promise? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. They are the real estate experts you can trust. So call them today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Brandon Roofing. The Florida State Seminoles move past their first bye of the season as they get back to work this Saturday in Doak, kicking off against Kent State at 3:30. The Shrimps start a series with the Norfolk Tides on the road beginning tonight at 6:35 with left-handed pitcher Thomas White on the mound. It's 84 degrees at 5 o'clock time in 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
We're going to find out how tough the Jaguars are on Sunday, because if you can't play tough with everything that is surrounding this matchup, then Liam Cohen has a problem with his roster. This is what I'm talking about. First off, you got to respond to the loss in Cincinnati, a game that, frankly, was given away. So you should have all the motivation in the world, because you really should be 2-0, yet you're 1-1 with some disappointing execution late in that game. Then you get to the fact that the last time you saw this team, that one of their linebackers put your quarterback on the shelf for the year with a vicious cheap shot. That's got to still resonate with the players in that locker room that saw it happen firsthand last year. The other part of this equation is you have a chance to send Houston to 0-3 to start the year. Now, that's not necessarily a death sentence for a team, but it would be a massive haymaker that the Jaguars would be throwing into the chin of the Houston Texans if they can get a win on Sunday. And for the Jaguars, they'd be 2 games up on Houston. But to have Houston at 0-3, that would really put them in a tough spot. I can't wait to see how this game plays out. Obviously, we know about Brian Thomas Jr. This is a big game for him. To establish that he is willing to play with a level of toughness that was missing in Cincinnati. But I think it extends beyond BTJ. He's going to be the one that the toughness spotlight is really going to be focused in on. But to me, this is a manhood game for the Jaguars. You have not responded well to adversity over the last few years. This is your chance. Go beat Houston on Sunday. And everybody in the league is talking about the Jaguars are a team to watch out for.
Great point. Agree on everything, every syllable you said. And I'll add one more addendum to it, but I agree with everything you said. It's also a game of significance if you don't want people, particularly those outside the market, to say same old Jags. If you lose this game to a team that came in 0-2, that a team that, frankly, offensively has had trouble getting out of its own way 2 games in a row, and you're at home against them, and you got the revenge factor because of Al-Shiz, if all that happens and you lose the game, fair or not, in the court of public opinion, it's going to be same old Jags. And that's where I was going to go with this. Not that you have to win game 3 in a 17-game season. You can get hot at any point, but you won game 1 and you changed the narrative. Maybe not same old Jags. You started out game 2, dominated the entire game, but at the end of the day, you lost to a team in Jake Browning. You lost to a team that didn't have Joe Burrow. All right. So, but it is what it is. Win this game, and it'll look like the last minute and a half of that game were a fluke, and you're almost 3-0. Lose this game once again to a division foe in your first division game of the year against a team that's really struggling. Like it or not, no matter how it plays out, Hayes, no matter what happens, the court of public opinion, whether it's fans locally or people that cover the league all over, will say and think same old Jags.
Without a doubt. And again, there's such a litany of examples in this game for why it should just mean a little bit more than your typical Sunday for the Jaguars in the locker room. And again, look, is a franchise, this is something that I don't think resonates really with players as much in terms of history. But as an organization, I think it's something that, certainly Tony Baselli can talk about in meetings and just in general conversations. The Jaguars are 2-12 in their last 14 games against Houston. That is pathetic. I mean, Houston's been good, but they've also had some down years in that period. 2-12 against the Houston Texans over the last 14 games. That is putrid, and it's got to stop Sunday.
And that is why, Hayes, this game is significant to proving it's not the same old Jags. That's the significance of this to me. Again, if you lose your 1-2, you still got the whole season ahead of you. But from a perception standpoint and from an optics standpoint, same old Jags. The Texans are reeling. They came in there. There's not much of a running game. They don't have their running back. They don't have the receivers they once had. They clearly were very bad on offense for 2 games in a row. And they came in there and beat the Jags in Jacksonville. Nothing they can do will say same old Jags more than losing to the 0-2 Texans. That's why, and I didn't even know the record was 2-12 in the last 14, but you knew it was something like that, right? So, so it's an important game. It's an important game. It's an important game for Trevor. Trevor needs to outplay C.J. Stroud. I think the Jags, if they want to impress upon the world their identity, run it again and run it physically and win with some ease against. Now, having said that, to your point, the other point, if you do win this game, now, see, the Bengals game, the perception of the Bengals game will largely be decided by this game, okay? If you lose this game, same old Jags. They lose to Jake Browning like they did 2 years ago. They lose one they should have won. Then they come home and they lose to an 0-2 team because they can't beat them in the division, same old Jags. It makes the Bengals game look really bad. If you win this game and you're 2-1, then the perception is, you know what? They really outplayed the Bengals too. They should be 3-0. They just dropped a couple passes and had a tough PI. So if you win this game, that's the narrative. Outplayed the Bengals, should have won, dropped a couple passes, had a bad pass interference. Lose the game, same old Jags. Lose to the Bengals when they should have won, lose to the Texans. That's how important. Again, from an optics standpoint, what you can gain here and what you can lose here is significant.
Without a doubt. And, one of the storylines also going into this game that we've sort of heard is, will there be any revenge on Al-Shaair? If you're Liam Cohen, you got to nip that in the bud immediately. The last thing the Jaguars can do is have a 15-yard penalty or a possible ejection because somebody went after him. Now, he may not play. He got hurt last night, and we'll have to see what D'Amico Ryans says as the week and as the injury reports come out. But if he is active, you've got to treat it. I mean, if you can get a shot on him clean, by all means, take it. But you can't go out of your way. This is a team that can't figure out the illegal shifts. Their penalties are an issue. The last thing Liam Cohen needs is 2 or 3 guys trying to take additional contact after the whistle on Al-Shaair, and you get a 15-yard penalty, which is probably going to kill your drive. So it's a tough spot for Liam because you don't want to be the coach that necessarily says, hey, guys, that wasn't a big deal last year.
Right.
It is a big deal, but you've got to handle it between the whistles. Once the whistle blows, you cannot be going after revenge. This game is going to be too close to throw away a possession because somebody cheap shots this guy, and instead of being in 2nd and 3, you're in 2nd and 18 and leading to a punt.
Yeah, and so play with discipline, but play with passion, man. I mean, they're still the 2-time defending division champs. You got to play with some passion against these guys. And again, here's why it's also an opportunity. It's your first division game. You get to 2-1, 1-0 in the division. Again, the end of the season softens up a little bit. That's why that one stung so much on Sunday. If you win that one, then I'm more confident you win this one. Now all of a sudden you're 3-0. You know you got the softer end of the season, at least according to schedules. Man, what could have been? So anyway, we'll take a break. Let's get into college football. When we come back, Jeff Dancer will join me. He is from the Bulldog Radio Network. Ooh, boy, that Georgia-Tennessee game was a good one. We'll talk about that and more SEC stuff after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
What could Jacksonville do better? Find out from one of our best ever as David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Monday from 10 to noon. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Carline here to let you know about my new tailgate obsession. That is Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love the new Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip. These are game changers, as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French onion dip at your grocery store.
I'm Holt Harrell. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were shocked that some lawyers get more from a case than their own client. After paying bills and costs, if we are supposed to get more than a client, we won't. That's the Harrell and Harrell promise. When we say that we treat our clients like family, we mean it. If you've been in an accident, call us today. 251-1111. Harrell and Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Miscellaneous telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags!
You already know it's your main man E to the T here for Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft. And with ball season here, make sure you're on the lookout for my instant reaction before, during, or after the game. All brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts. Come on, somebody.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Cool air and clean air. Getting out from under that Florida sun and cooling off inside is where Florida Home AC shines. Think about it. You spend a lot of time indoors, and air quality is crucial to your health and comfort. Pollutants like dust, pollen, germs, and allergens can build up, affecting your well-being. Florida Home is dedicated to enhancing your indoor experience with superior air quality solutions like whole home air purification systems. Find out by logging on to FloridaHomeAC.com or call 877-4300.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Time now for the SEC Update with Jeff Dantzler from the Bulldog Radio Network and the Superstations. Presented by Underwood Jewelers. Here's Frank and Jeff.
All right, my buddy Jeff Dantzler joined us from that Bulldog Radio Network. Ooh, boy, that was a good one in Rocky Top, wasn't it, Jeff? Were you like on the edge of your seat the whole time? What a ball game, huh?
Yeah, it really was. I thought it was an instant classic. And I was just so impressed, Frank, with the resiliency that both teams showed. Tennessee got out to a 21-7 lead. The Georgia fought back. Both teams probably felt like they had opportunities to put the game away. I thought it was just a great, great college football game, and I sure am happy my Bulldogs came out on top.
I'll tell you this, and I think Tennessee's really good. I told you that last week. In fact, I thought Tennessee was going to win the game. I picked Tennessee to win. But Georgia's the best program going right now, right? In the last 10 years, Georgia's the best program. We've all seen who the best program is for whatever stretch. I know Ohio State's holding the trophy, and they're close. They've been awfully good, too, in the last 10 years. But Georgia's the best program, and I thought they willed themselves to that win. To win in Rocky Top against what I think is a really good Tennessee team, sometimes the best team wills it. I see the Chiefs do it. I used to see the Patriots do it. Don't you sense that was you got to cut the head off the snake, man? If Tennessee's going to beat Georgia, you can't just hope you get a long field goal. I thought Georgia willed itself to that win on Saturday afternoon, Jeff.
Well, I would agree, and as he's affectionately known on the airwaves with the great Kevin Butler and me as Coach King, Kirby Smart, he is just the best. I mean, in my mind, he's already on the Mount Rushmore of all-time great SEC coaches. And what you think about this, Frank, 3 of Georgia's last 6 games, and really 3 of the last 4, take out Marshall and Austin Peay, have gone to overtime. Georgia beat Tech, Georgia beat Texas, Georgia beat Tennessee.
Wow.
And in 2 of those, it was looking mighty, mighty bleak. But this team just finds a way. Kirby talks about a lot of teams, we got to play the full 60 minutes, that keep chopping. But sometimes just play. Keep yourself around, and then you never know if something good might happen.
Let's talk about both teams. I want to start with Georgia. What does this do for Georgia now? Not that they needed any more confidence, but there have been some people doubting Gunnar Stockton. That you know that, I know that. Kirby talked about that. How much does this elevate him, his teammates' confidence in him, the fan base's confidence in him? I think this was a boost he really needed. Do you get that sense?
I completely agree. It was just a tremendous performance, and Gunnar's just a tough kid. He was made for this. I don't think any of us really worried about him handling the moment. I think another thing we saw, Frank, and I've seen this a little bit with him so far, I think he's better throwing the football when Georgia's playing fast. When the dogs get into a tempo and he can just go and let it fly. But I had one of our Georgia fans tweeted at me and did a list of some of the famous touchdown connections in Georgia football history and had Stockton to London Humphreys up there. And I thought, well, if Georgia winds up having a great year, making the playoffs or whatever, no doubt that goes down as one of the great connections in Georgia history. What a throw and what a catch.
Let's get to Tennessee. What did you make of the Vols? Because I think Tennessee now, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say they run the table, but they're going to be a tough out. They've got to play at Alabama, and who knows what Florida will be by then when they play at Florida or who'll be coaching Florida. But, boy, I thought Tennessee was good. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one. He's had some good teams. He's in the playoffs last year. I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be his best team, Jeff.
Well, it could be. And you know how good they were in 2022 when they went 11-2. Like you said, Frank made the playoff last year. And Kirby and I taped a couple of shows yesterday, and I said, hey, with it not being the divisions now, the playoff, there's a chance we could see these guys again, that Georgia and Tennessee could play again. I thought in terms of who needed to win more, because it looks like Georgia's schedule is more challenging than Tennessee's. I thought Georgia needed to win more in that if the Dogs lost, there's less margin for error there. Whereas with Tennessee, I agree with you that for whatever reason, they freak out when they go to Gainesville. Of course, there's Alabama, but that's a different animal right now. I think they've got a great chance to go 10-2, though, and make it into the playoffs.
Jeff, what did you make of Florida LSU? Obviously, the Lagway 5 interceptions was the story around here. What did you make watching those two teams?
Well, for LSU, they've just got a lot of guys. And also, Brian Kelly's a very good coach, but he just makes himself unlikable. Yeah. I mean, the outburst he had at the reporter, it's a simple question. These guys have got jobs to do. And I think it's a good case as well on you figure most coaches, if you're in contention to get a job at a place like LSU, Florida, Georgia, you're going to be at least a competent football coach. It comes down to the fit. Now, Les Miles won a national championship at LSU. Ed Orgeron won a national championship at LSU. It's obviously an elite program. I think Brian Kelly's good enough to do it there, but I just don't know about the fit, and he always seems to be just chirping with the fan base. For Florida, I thought they did a good job of hanging around. Florida's obviously got a very, very talented defense. If I were a Gator fan, my worry now, though, is does it get ugly in Miami? And if they lose after that third loss, what happens? Does the train go off the tracks? Does Florida wait? Do they start to make a move? The players start talking about it? Because, Frank, we've seen this, and it's a shame. We've seen guys after 4 games where a coach is on a hot seat, they want to take a redshirt year so they could have a year of eligibility somewhere. So if I was a Florida fan, I'd be pretty concerned right now.
Yeah, here's the good thing. Hell, Jeff, we're used to it. I mean, that's kind of what's happened around here. But I think your assessment of Florida's dead on. I think they're going to lose to Miami. I got to be honest with you, and I follow the Gators as close as anybody. You know that. But I got to be honest. Maybe Kentucky and Mississippi State, and then maybe you upset one of the others. But this was a team I thought was a 9 or 10 win team, and I, like many, were way wrong. Jeff, I don't know that I see 4 wins this year. I've gone through the schedule. They're Texas at home, at Texas A&M, Georgia. They play Tennessee. They play Florida State. They play at Ole Miss. I don't know that I see a 4th or 5th win for the Gators this year, and I know that's a bit drastic change from what I thought on Labor Day, but it just looks really dire for the Gators for me.
Well, I think when you look at Florida, too, I guess it was 2 years ago when they beat South Carolina and Columbia to get to 5-2 heading to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, all right, that might be the game that kind of gets them to at least, an 8-4 type year, maybe one better, and then they lose out. Then last year they do the reverse. They're 4-5, and I know Scott Strickland was taking a lot of grief for announcing that Billy Napier would be back, and they win 4 in a row and look great.
Right.
So it's just turned so many times. And I think it just goes to show again, with these jobs, places like Georgia, Florida, and LSU, as you like to say, where you don't have to leave in terms of recruiting to win a national championship. You can still be good. I think anybody can go in and be competitive. But it just takes the guy. You got to have the right fit. Florida had the ultimate one in Steve Spurrier. He was homegrown, like Kirby, like Bear Bryant. Urban Meyer was the ultimate hired gun there, but they've just had a hard time finding their footing. And like we said, Florida's always had players, and schools like to take jabs at each other. But really, you got the Spurrier era, you got the Meyer era. That's where a vast majority of the success of Florida football history has come from.
No question.
So now I started, because I remember I got scared. I was in high school when they hired Spurrier. I knew how good Meyer was because I had a friend that worked with him at Bowling Green. And now you start to think, what would scare Georgia fans and Florida State fans? I think Lane Kiffin would be an amazing fit in Gainesville. I don't want that to happen as a Georgia fan. But Florida fans have got to be well past the point of saying if for Billy Napier, but when, and then who's next.
Yeah, and I think you hit it. And I would guess now that it probably is now going to be Kiffin. I think if I was betting my money that Kiffin is probably the guy. I think that it was too early before. He's now done as much as he can do at Ole Miss. Everybody knows he craves the job. I don't think Alabama's ever hiring Lane Kiffin, even if that one comes open. So I think it's probably him. We'll see. Let's move along. We're talking SEC football with Jeff Dantzler. Jeff, I got to tell you, other than Georgia and Tennessee, who were both impressive, Texas A&M was the most impressive league team last week. They played fast. Mike Elko's the right guy, man. You knew they're good defensively. To your point about having guys, they got guys. They play fast offensively now, which they never have. I was really impressed with the Aggies.
I was, too. I got to watch that game while Kevin and I were doing our post-game show at Europe. They've got speed to burn at wide receiver. And I think that was one of those games for A&M that just might have gotten them over a hump. They've kind of been that program, well, we got the money, they flaunt it. As a friend of mine used to say, big hat, no cattle. I mean, they finished in the top 10 twice in the 21st century. But this team looks like they've got a little something. And, Frank, I even look at, like, how competitive Arkansas was with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Vandy in South Carolina. I think this is just a year where everybody in the league this year is at least decent, and maybe 13 or 14 teams are really good. I don't know if there's an 11-1, 12-0 type team, but I just don't see an easy out in the league anywhere.
How shocked were you that Vanderbilt went to Columbia? I know Lenora Sellers got hurt, but golly, 31-7, Jeff. How shocking was that?
Stunned, absolutely stunned. Plus, that winning streak goes back to when the HBC was in Columbia. What was it, 16 in a row?
Yeah.
And I get it with the turnovers, but, I mean, what a job Clark Lee has done at Vanderbilt. I mean, they were just, at our 2021 national championship team with Georgia, I mean, we went up there and beat them 62-0. It was 55-0 the next year. Well, then that next year it got a little tight. Didn't play last year. Now, this might have been a good thing because Vanderbilt was good. Now they're even better this season. And I get it, Virginia Tech's no good. There's another story there. But, you know, they've also beaten a couple of named schools along the way to get to their record of 3-0. So I'm with you. I think Vandy is really, really good. And for South Carolina, you know, a lot of people always call it the chicken curse there. It's a different animal in Columbia when they've got expectations.
And boy, you are. That's really well said, and they do. All right, so as we wrap this thing, so let me do this. I want to take for now Georgia, and I'm even going to take Tennessee out of the conversation. Okay, just for now, I'm going to take Georgia and Tennessee out of the conversation in a Jeff Dantzler power poll, and you couldn't have those two teams because I'm going to go ahead and put them 1 and 2. What order would you have that group of LSU, Alabama, Auburn, whoever else, Texas A&M, Texas? How would you rank them?
I've got LSU number 1 in the country in my Bulldog Illustrated poll.
Okay.
I think they're really good, and I think with Nussmeier and their front-end talent, I think the schedule is more than manageable. I think they're in great shape. Probably next, I would give the edge probably to A&M because they won at Notre Dame and Texas lost at Ohio State. So I'd probably go A&M 2, Texas 3. Would you go Ole Miss or Bama next?
I would go Bama until it's not Bama. I think FSU's pretty good, and so I think I would go Alabama ahead of Ole Miss if it was me.
Well, and I think that's the thing too. You know, with Week 1, and I get it with Bama fans. You talk about being spoiled. Well, Florida, that might be Florida State of 2023, not Florida State of 2024. That's what we talk about, those Week 1 overreactions. By the way, Ty Simpson this year, 9 TDs, no interceptions.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. So I would go Alabama, then Ole Miss. So the bottom line is, you hit it. It's going to be a great league race, and I think you also hit it about the Gators. I think we're all thinking the same thing you are. If they get beat by double digits, and most of us expect it, although you're right, the defense is pretty good. They'll keep them in it. But if they get beat by double digits, which we most think they will, they're going to be 1 and 3 with an open date. If there was a time to do something, it sure would seem like that would be the time. So we'll see if it winds up happening.
Well, and I think we've also just gotten to a point with everything that's going on with the NIL, with the portal. I think we're seeing more and more of these in-season coaching changes because you're trying to get first in line to get that guy. Because until we get a functioning timeline in college football, and it looks like we might be on the way to it with having one portal window. I mean, December is the month where you make it or break it for that next year.
No question about it. Jeff Dantzler does a great job talking SEC football. He's from the Bulldog Radio Network and the Superstations right up the road. Jeff, great work, buddy. We appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Frank, you are the man. Let's go, Jags.
All right, let's hope. Jeff Dantzler checking in, talking SEC football, brought to you by Underwood Jewelers. We'll take a break. We've got our NFL Rewind up next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
I'm Frank Frangie. Now, I've been telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. Well, ready for this? She has now lost 60 pounds. That number's real, 60 pounds in a little over 3 months. And here's the thing, she loves doing it. She just went on a trip to Tampa to see a concert, sort of a road trip. And I asked her, was it hard to stay on the diet? She said, Dad, that's just it. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, and it's sustainable. And it's sustainable even when you're on the road. She is so excited. It has not changed her life. I think that's the best thing. It's a lifestyle change, but it doesn't ruin your life. She's loving her life, and she's so excited that she's been able to lose all that weight. You can do the same thing. You can kickstart your transformation. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's working for Amber, and she's so excited, and I promise you it can work for you. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Sports fans, this is David Garrard here. And if you're suffering from orthopedic soreness, make an appointment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where everyone is treated like a pro.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Folks, are you looking for a better used car shopping experience? Well, you'll find it at Nimnik Buick GMC. Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Now, with Car Bravo and Nimnik, you'll save big and drive home with a smile. Nimnik Buick GMC can certify all makes and models. That means Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. Are you trading in your old vehicle? Well, don't forget, who gives you more top dollar for your trade? Nobody but Nimnik. So shop online at nimnikbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off of Phillips Highway. And remember, there's a lot of ways to get used cars, but there's no better way than to do it with Car Bravo, and Nimnik is the place to get your Car Bravo car for you. Head there today. All makes and models, they've got them all, and they've got them at Nimnik. So what's the best place to get cars, trucks, SUVs? Well, that's easy. Nobody but Nimnik.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Florida Heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Welcome back to The Frangie Show. We've got Frank Frangie and JJ LaSelva. I am Hayes Carline. It is time for our NFL Rewind. Let's get it to Houston.
Hot and in motion. They are going to run it. And no signal yet. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay stuns Houston 20-19 as running back Rachaad White scores on a 2-yard touchdown run with 6 seconds left. The Bucs survived brutal special teams play, missing a 38-yard field goal, allowing a punt block, and a 53-yard punt return, but a big win for Tampa Bay.
And I thought, Baker Mayfield's a winner. You know that? He knows how to win. And Tampa Bay's pretty good. The Texans aren't going to go away softly, or they're not going to go away meekly. They got a little fight in them, too. But I thought Tampa Bay was the far more physical team, Hayes. I think that's what stood out to me. That was a great win for the Bucs.
The Texans fall to 0-2. Houston allowed Tampa Bay to run for 169 yards, averaging 5.6 yards a carry. Wow. Houston better clean that up before they arrive in town on Sunday.
Boy, and that's the truth. And again, that's a big game. We'll talk more about the game as the week goes on. It's a big game for Houston not to go to 0-3, and it's a big game for the Jags in this new regime that we all like so much to not look like same old Jags. This is a critical game. I mean, as week 3 games go, being in the division, being where they both lost one this past, this is a big game. It really is.
Without a doubt. JJ, get us to Vegas.
Herbert launches downfield. It's Johnson in stride. Touchdown, Chargers. 60 yards.
The Chargers in the Monday Night Football nightcap last night. The game ended at about 1 a.m., but it was just glorious. The Chargers cruised past mistake-prone Raiders 20-9 in Vegas to improve to 2-0. Justin Herbert shines again with 273 yards of total offense, 2 passing touchdowns, no turnovers, and a passer rating of 122.8.
They're pretty good. Hey, I know that's a no-duh moment. But, the Chargers have teased before, and then at the end of the day not been that good. Heck, they were up 27-0 here a few years ago, and the season ended awful. Great for us because the Jags came back and won that thing. They're pretty good. They're tougher. He made them tougher. Justin Herbert is starting to develop. They're pretty good. They're I'm telling you, they're pretty good. The same thing, by the way, everybody would be saying about the Jags. It's the Jags that hung on. You know that? They're pretty good.
Without a doubt. On the Raiders side of things, normally reliable, Geno Smith threw 3 picks for the Raiders, including one on his first attempt of the game. Las Vegas drops to 1-1.
Yeah, and I don't know what to think of them. By the way, I made it to about the middle of the third last night. Did you stay up?
I loved it. I thought it was a good game.
Yeah. I made it to about the middle of the third.
I had some fantasy implications, which
you were motivated.
Yeah, I was a motivated.
I didn't have any of that. I just watched football, but I think the Raiders are going to struggle. I really do. Not just because they lost last night. It's just my feeling.
JJ, take us please to Arrowhead Stadium.
Blitz, Mahomes over the middle, Kelsey. Oh, it's picked off. It's Makuba who's got it, and room to run.
The Eagles send the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes to an 0-2 start with a 2017 win at Arrowhead in a rematch of the Super Bowl. The tush push remains controversial as the Eagles appeared to be getting away with multiple false starts.
Yeah, I'll say this. Not just that. I said it yesterday. We said you have to make, at the end of the game, people say, well, you can lose the game in the first quarter the same way. Not really. Because in the NFL, it's a one-possession league, and you got to make plays at the end of the game, and Travis Kelce's got to catch that pass. I mean, he catches the pass, I think the Chiefs win the game. So, and you need your stars to make the big plays, too. So, a great win for Philadelphia. They're off and running.
Travis Kelce drops a pass at the goal line that ended up deflecting into an Eagles interception. You heard that clip. So what now for the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs, they're a desperate team. They're a good team. They might have just played the best team in the NFL and were about to beat them until Travis Kelce didn't hang on. So I think the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. It's not as easy as it was, but the Chiefs will be okay.
This one's going to pain me, but JJ, take us to Indianapolis.
Well, it's right in the middle here. You see the leverage jumping over the top. That's where the penalty was called, and that's not a little penalty. That's 15-yard penalty.
I get cheated out of a game picker-upper thanks to Sean Payton's incompetence for calling for a blocked field goal. Indianapolis takes sole possession of the AFC South at 2-0 after holding off Denver 29-28 on a wild finish. Colts miss a field goal on the final play, but Denver was called for leverage. Indy then made the second attempt.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I guess it was the right call. That is the rule. But my goodness, what can you imagine being Denver and you thought you were on your way to 2-0 and you felt great and my goodness, you're getting out of there with a road win and you're celebrating, and then you see that flag, and then you have to sit there where did you see Bo Nix on the sideline? You had to sit there when he drilled that kick. What an awful feeling for them.
No doubt about it. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor accounted for 215 yards. He looks like he may be headed to a supersized season.
What a good player he is.
Absolutely. The Broncos are now 1-1, losing a game in which they scored 4 touchdowns and the Colts scored 2.
How about that? And you lost the game. 4 touchdowns, the other guy scored 2, and you lost the game.
We will wrap this up at Jerry's World.
Aubrey, does he have enough? On the way. That's why they trusted him. Never a doubt.
The Cowboys and Giants combined for 984 yards in Dallas's 40-37 overtime win. Dallas kicker Brandon Aubrey drills a 64-yard field goal to send the game into overtime. Aubrey then connected on the final play of overtime from 46 yards to give Brian Schottenheimer his first career win.
I'll tell you about it. You know where we're headed, and don't laugh. We're headed to 75-yard field goals. We're headed. I mean, that one Aubrey kicked might have been good from 75. The one Cam Little made in the preseason from 70 would have been good from 73 or 74. We're headed to 75-yard field. We're headed to, you receive the kick. It's a touchback. So you start at your own 35, line up and kick it. I mean, you know what I mean, Hayes? Yeah. I mean, we're really, and I don't know if the league's going to do something to stop that. Usually when things get out of hand, they change the rules. They changed the rules on the extra points because they were too easy. I don't know what you do. Do you make the hash marks wider?
I think they probably like the scoring.
Maybe, but do you really want, anytime you're at midfield, you're guaranteed 3 points? Because that's kind of, and that's probably not quite that, but it's close.
It's close. It's every game you watch now, somebody will make like a 54-yard field goal.
Right.
And the announcers all say, I mean, it's to the point there's no drama in that
That's
anymore.
my point. That's my point.
10 years ago, a 54-yard field goal was a bomb.
When your own kicker misses a 50-yarder, you're pissed.
Absolutely.
When I grew up, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, a 40-yarder was a 50-50 proposition. Yeah. Now a 60-yarder is about a 70-30 proposition. It's pretty amazing.
It really is incredible where the game has gone in terms of kicking. Giants receivers Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson combined for 17 catches for 309 yards and 3 touchdowns in the loss as the Giants fell to 0-2.
Yeah, I'll give Russ Wilson credit. When just about everybody had him benched. This might be the last hurrah, but it was a good hurrah. But they won. They lost the game nonetheless.
And that's going to do it for our NFL Rewind.
Great job as always, looking back at the weekend in the NFL. We'll be back and wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Quarterback injuries, a big story early in week 3 of the NFL season. Tyrod Taylor could be at quarterback for the Jets. They're a 7-point dog against the Buccaneers on Sunday. Jaden Daniels' status undetermined, but he has a sprained knee. It could be Marcus Mariota under center, and the Commanders are a 3.5-point home favorite against the Raiders. Joe Burrow out, surgery for turf toe. Jake Browning in at quarterback for the Bengals. J.J. McCarthy likely out with a high ankle sprain for the Vikings. Veteran Carson Wentz under center for Minnesota. And the Vikings are a 3-point home favorite against the Bengals. It's all laid out in today's VSiN Daily newsletter. It's free. Sign up now at VSIN.com/newsletter. Cash back for every bet with a G-Bank signature Visa card. VSiN.com/GBank. Mike Sennett, 1010XL.
Nothing like a hot shower. Wait, why is the water up to my ankles?
It's the dreaded clogged shower drain. Hair, soap scum, and last week's mystery goo.
It's touching my toes!
Don't panic. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. We'll tackle plumbing, septic, and even the nastiest shower clogs. Call 904-862-6769 or visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Get ready for the 4th annual Sizzlin' Soiree, presented by Dunkin' Donuts, October 2nd at the Fountain of Youth in St. Aug. Enjoy barbecue, live music, auctions, and surprises while supporting kids-safe spaces and life-changing programs. Get tickets at bgcnf.org.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Cancer Center offers on-site imaging and other diagnostic services. Early detection saves lives. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Attention ladies! The Ladies Florida State Championship is returning to Best Bet Jacksonville from September 18th to the 21st. Highlights include a World Poker Tour Mega Satellite, a free Q&A session with the Poker Hall of Famer and First Lady of Poker, Linda Johnson, and Women's Poker Hall of Famer, Jan Fisher. It includes the $300 No Limit Hold'em Ladies Championship Tournament and the $200 Kings and Queens No Limit Hold'em event. Don't miss this action-packed weekend. For all the details, visit BestBetJax.com. That's BestBetJax.com.
I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com. Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts the Jaguars call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Trevor Lawrence dazzled on Sunday versus Cincinnati. The teal and black quarterback went 24 for 42, tallying 271 yards, and threw for 3 touchdowns in what was a spectacular performance on his part. The Golden One shines so bright, he needs to wear shades, and he's your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through September 30th. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Today in the program, we said hello to our first Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week this year. It's Caleb White. He was terrific. A terrific two-way lineman from that really good Mandarin football team. Great to see Caleb today.
IMG has a problem on Friday night,
they do.
and it's the Mandarin Mustangs.
And Caleb made it clear.
Yeah, and
he
Caleb.
said, well, let's go get him.
I hope they kill them.
I do, too. It's good to see Caleb today. Jeff Dantzler stopped by to talk SEC football, brought to you by Underwood Jewelers, as he often does. Every Tuesday, we talked a lot about the importance of the Jags and the Texans, and we'll talk about that all week long. Jags and Texans coming up. Today we talked about Darnell Savage getting released by the Jags. We certainly covered that. Again, a whole bunch of Texans and Jags talk coming up all week long. What a significant game for both folks. I want to go back to something I said at the top of the program because the Darnell Savage story broke right then, so we didn't expound on it any. But I want to hit it again. Reigns, their high school football team, won 77-0 over Sandalwoods. 77-0 over another 7A, whatever, 8A school. 48-14 over, and I don't know if they're that high, but you know what they are, a big public school. 48-14 over Trinity. Now, I know Trinity might be down this year, but they're not 48-14 down very often. And they just won 51-3 over Lake Mary. Lake Mary was the 7A runner-up last year and has a quarterback committed to Notre Dame. Reigns beat them 51-3. I mean, Reigns has had some great teams over the year, and again, I don't follow high schools nearly closely enough. This must be a spectacular Reigns team.
It must be, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see. You know, obviously they'll keep it going in terms of being an excellent team.
Do they play bowls? Do they play bowls this year?
That's a great question.
They play them a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, they've been. I mean, Reigns has been really, I'd say, back for a while because they were when I was covering preps in like 2010 through 2012 or 11 at the Times Union, like they were really good then, and I think they've continued to build and become even a more dominant program. So it's great to see anytime that the Duval public schools are able to have success. It's wonderful, and Reigns was the first Duval County public school to ever win the state.
Yeah, they do not play bowls. They're at Riverside. Then they play that Saturday game against Ribault. Reigns and Ribault playing on Saturday afternoons these days. Home against Madison County. They play Creekside. They play Yulee, and then they finish the season at Atlantic Coast. So they do not play bowls this year. But again, it just seems like, again, I don't follow. The score got the 77-0 over Sandwood got my attention. 40, and you told me that maybe Trinity's not quite as good as they've been in some past years, but they're still Trinity. 48-14 over Trinity is always going to get your attention. And then 51-3 over a state semifinalist a year ago, or state finalist a year ago. So, anyway, I'll tell you this. It's certainly a story worth following. And again, if you want high school football, our guys do a great job. Hack and Justin Barney do that streaming show that's on both here and the Channel 4 stream, and then of course you hear Hack on those Friday nights. So our guys do a great job talking high school football, so it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll continue to track that story. Jags and Texans, gigantic game. You agree with my point earlier that huge game for Houston because they don't want to go 0-3. A very big game for Jacksonville because it's important it doesn't look like same old Jags. The bad thing that Tony Baselli and James Gladstone and Liam Cohen inherited is that there's been so many struggles of late that you get the impression that you're going to have to really win over this fan base, not just our fan base, the national people that watch football, to not make it look like same old Jags. This game could go a long way toward that. You said it best. They were 2-12 against the Texans in the last 14 games. You lose this game, whether you like it or not, whether it's fair or not, whether it's accurate or not. The optics will tell people same old Jags.
Certainly in terms of a how good are they question, that will certainly resonate. I think even beyond that, this is a manhood game. And it not just for Brian Thomas Jr., who obviously needs to prove to his teammates that he wants to play tackle football this season. But beyond Brian Thomas Jr., this is a Houston organization that supported their linebacker after he cheap-shotted your franchise quarterback. They showed zero remorse for it.
D'Amico Ryans, who's a very likable guy, almost said Jacksonville overreacted.
Hey, I don't know what the big deal is.
Yeah. What
are you talking about?
Overreacted?
Exactly. So, I mean, again, I think it's a manhood game for that reason. It's a manhood game because you have a chance to put them at 0-3. So show some killer instinct and throw a haymaker on them. That's going to make it difficult for them to climb out. I still think Houston's the threat. Indianapolis is a great story. They're very lucky to be 2-0. I mean, if Denver doesn't make one of the stupidest penalties you'll see this season, the Colts are 1-1. And both Indianapolis's games have been at home, so they now have 15 games left, and the vast majority of those are going to be on the road. So I'm not really – the Colts are a nice story. I don't know that it has staying power because I still don't believe in Daniel Jones. But so I still think it's Houston is the real threat. And if you're the Jaguars and you can send them to 0-3 with having a 2-game lead on them through the first 3 weeks of the season, this is a manhood game. Go and beat the Texans down.
Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Texans coming in here 0-2, Ricky.
Hayes got me shivering over.
No, there's no Hayes. Hayes will do that.
Be honest,
you want Hayes?
I'm not going to be on the field.
You want Hayes in your locker room is what you want.
I'm going to stray as far away from him and the press box as I possibly can, for crying out loud. Yeah, it's they looked. They're pretty good on defense. I won't argue with that, but boy, they're really struggling on offense right now.
Yeah. Not very physical either. I mean, even when they got in the red zone and they were helpless. I thought that so.
Bad play calling, and they couldn't run the ball. Chubb had that one breakaway for the touchdown.
But other than that, couldn't run it at all.
Couldn't run. No.
So they come in here with a sense of urgency, right?
They just keep winning here. I mean, you got to take the wooden stake and drive it right through the heart of Houston here. They've had too much success, period, in this rivalry, including lately here in Duval. I really like Jacksonville's chances, though. It'll be interesting to see what's going on tomorrow. Health-wise for the Jaguars, but I just think, I sense the fans. It's a little bit different with that loss 2 days ago than it was last year, and maybe that's premature because it's only one loss. But as I said to you guys yesterday, it feels like a lot of these problems are fixable. So I like the Jaguars' chances.
All right, tonight?
Jimmy Smith in 20 minutes.
Love it.
He's been pretty outspoken here about Brian Thomas Jr., so text back and forth with Jimmy today, and want to bring him on and talk to the greatest wide receiver who's ever played here in Jacksonville and get his opinion on what he believes is going on with Brian Thomas Jr. and whether or not they can fix it.
All right, we'll be listening.
That's coming up.
That comes up right now. Rick Ballou goes into the night with Jimmy Smith and a whole lot more. That'll do it for our program tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than